Hi, everybody. It's Peter. It is Friday, August 6th, 2010. Well, just 5 days left, including today, to the Republican primary. Let's really make them count. First of all, on the phone banking, we had a record day yesterday as far as the number of calls. We made 11,275 calls. 124 people participated. Great effort by those people, particularly Eric Krentz in Wisconsin with 965 calls in first place, and Dan from Indiana with 938 calls in second place. Fantastic effort, guys. Hopefully, we can have more people putting in that kind of effort over the weekend. Let's make this a 4-day weekend, Friday to Monday, all out, a full blast on the phone banking. We could do this. I know that there is an effort by some people who put up a website, shiffstorm.com, dedicated to making 25,000 calls over the weekend. Let's shatter that record. Let's make a lot more than 25,000 calls. We can do this. Everybody who has ever phone bank again. Do it this weekend. Start today. Tell your friends. Get them to do it. And if you haven't done it, what are you waiting for? It's not hard. It's easy. We can win this race. It's up to you. We have it in our power. You have it in your power to take control of this race. We can do it. I said that we started to conduct our own internal poll based on the call fire system that you guys are calling. We are calling people randomly that have never been called. The people that we're calling have voted in 3 out of the last 4 primary elections. Now, the poll, we're not sampling we're not going through them by demographics, by income level, by race or ethnicity, by geographic region of the state. So it's maybe not as scientific as that Quinnipiac poll, but we're just pulling people at random off of likely Republican voters. We now have our sample up to 2%, up to 200 people. We now have a margin of error of 7% as opposed to 10%. Linda's doing a little bit better now than when we only had 100 people, but it's a lot different story than Quinnipiac right now. Linda is in the lead with 25%. I'm in second place with 18%, and Rob is in first place with 9%. Also, we're no longer putting me first, so that might have skewed the results. I'm not the first person that we're asking. But anyway, it's not a blowout. I'm in second place. Linda's at 25. I'm at 18. 20% are still undecided. But here's the important part. 60% of the people who told us that they're going to vote for Linda McMahon said that they might change their mind by Election Day. 60%. Only 32% of the people who said they're going to vote for Peter Schiff said that they might change their mind by Election Day. So Linda's voters are not committed. We can change their mind. You can change their mind. All they have to do is know that I'm in this race. Nobody is going to vote for Linda McMahon if you tell them that they can vote for Peter Schiff. All they have to do is hear about the two of us, know that I've got all the qualities they think Linda has, but none of the baggage. I am the real deal. It's up to you to bring it out. It's hard to overcome the media bias. I watch the coverage. I get very little coverage in the media. I was supposed to be on Fox News, last night. And it was a big interview. They didn't use it. Now, they're telling me now that they're going to show it today instead. Hopefully they will, because it's great footage. They interviewed me for 15 or 20 minutes. Lots of great sound bites. They interviewed me, meeting people, going into stores, talking to people about the campaign. Great stuff. The reporter loved it. Hopefully they run it tonight. It was supposed to air yesterday, and it didn't. I know we talked about getting on Hannity. I don't know. My guess is we won't be on, but who knows? Maybe they'll surprise me, but we're running out of time. We have got to bypass the media. We can do this. This is a grassroots campaign. You guys watching this video, you're the grassroots. So we can do it. The Republican establishment obviously wants Linda, and it's very simple why they do, right? Linda McMahon, if Linda McMahon gets this nomination, the Republicans don't have to spend a dime in this Senate race because Linda's going to spend $30 million. But what does that mean? That means the Democrats are going to have to shift a lot of money into Connecticut to fight that off. And what does that mean? That means that money is not available for other states. And so what the Republican plan is, let's throw away Connecticut. Let's give this race to Dick Blumenthal and the Democrats because we'll pick up more seats in other states, right? Why does the Republican Party want those seats? Because they want power. They want control. They want all the perks that go along with being the party in power. They don't care about principle. They don't care that I'm the more principled candidate, that I'm the one that actually stands for Republican values, because most of them don't have those values themselves. They just pretend to have them. Now, there are some exceptions. There are some good Republicans, but there are a lot of bad ones as well. They are part of the problem. And in fact, I think the rhinos are a bigger part of the problem than the Democrats. That's what I want to change. The key is not just to have Republicans in Congress, it's to have the right Republicans. I'd rather have good Republicans in a minority than rhinos in the majority. And that's what this race is about. So it doesn't matter about the other Senate races. There's a couple that do, but we got to focus on my race. We've got to shake up the Republican establishment. We got to show the media that despite the poor coverage, that I can still overcome, that I can still win. And we can do that. Together we can do that. We can make that happen. Just imagine the shock on Wednesday morning, Tuesday, if I pull this off. If I can come from behind, despite all the efforts of the establishment or the media to minimize or marginalize my campaign. You can't hear them mention Peter Schiff without saying I'm a long shot, dark horse, And, of course, the only news coverage I get now is covering my article on Linda McMahon, maybe because it's sensational, because there she is kicking this guy in the groin. I mean, I guess I'll take any publicity I can get, but it's unfortunate we don't get more positive publicity. But that's what I need you guys. I need the people who believe in me throughout the state of Connecticut, throughout the country, to take advantage of the tools that we do have, that we can bypass the media. We have these telephones. We can do the phone banking. This will make a difference. And believe me, the people that you call, that you tell my story, if they check me out, they will vote. They will go to the polls on Tuesday, and they will check Peter Schiff. Linda McMahon's support, who knows if these guys are going to show up? Who knows if they're going to vote? They might change their mind just walking into the voting booth. They just might check my name just because they don't like Linda McMahon or they don't like Rob Simmons. But the more calls that we make now, the more likely it is that some of these voters who really aren't sure who they want to support will back me in the end. Because after all, I am the best candidate. I am the most principled candidate. I bring the most credentials to the table as far as my knowledge of economics, my knowledge of business, my personal experience in both finance and business and economics. So I've got the best message. You guys need to be my messengers, and we need to get that out. So let's make this a 4-day weekend. Start today and work and dial as many calls as you can between today and the election. And remember, if you haven't done it before, it's shiftforsenate.com. That's where you do the phone banking. You sign up, follow the instructions, call the headquarters if you have any difficulty doing it. It is easy, it is simple, it is free, and it is fun to do, and you will be satisfied and you will feel that you have made a difference. Think of how good you're going to feel if we pull this thing off. And think of how upset you're going to be if I lose, especially if you did nothing to help me win. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks in advance, everybody, and I'll be back again soon.